Good afternoon, baseball fans. We are back in Gallatin, Tennessee on the campus of Volunteer State Community College. This is Tim Reese along with Reagan Smith for the TCCAA Baseball Conference Tournament. This is Game 2, the play-in game that was regularly scheduled yesterday, and it got started at about 4:18 p.m. Played 41 minutes and got in 2 innings before the second weather delay of the day occurred and shut everything down here in Middle Tennessee, or at least here on the campus of Volunteer State. We are resuming Game 2 between Jackson State and Motlow State. I will recap the first 2 innings for you, as some of you may not have made the broadcast yesterday. We're going to start with a score of 3-1 Motlow State, and we will start at the top of the 3rd inning. First of all, let's go through the lineups brought to you by Toyota of Gallatin, who has graciously supported VolState baseball here in Gallatin, Tennessee. They are located right across the street from the campus, and they have put up 2 beautiful scoreboards here at the baseball field and the softball complex across campus. So big thanks to Toyota of Gallatin, Eric Carr and Jake Thompson, general manager and general sales manager across the street. So the starting lineups will not change. The 2 pitchers that will come out will in fact change. We're waiting to find out who will take the mound for Motlow State, but the Green Jays of Jackson State have a starting lineup that will continue. That shows Garrett Bird in center field leading off, and he will, in fact, lead off the top of the 3rd when we resume play, as the umpires have come out onto the field. They will check field conditions. Nomar Prieto, the shortstop, bats 2nd. Michael Bell in left field batting 3rd. Chris Godwin, cleanup hitter, will play first base for the Green Jays. Connell Harden, the DH, batting 5th. Jacob Bryant, 3rd baseman, batting 6th. Right fielder Kylan Joyner is hitting 7th. Galvin Sims playing 2nd base. And in the 8-hole, Mike Romagno is the catcher, and he'll bat 9th. And as I said, the new pitcher for the Green Jays will be Corey Francis. He's a 6'4", 215-pound left-handed pitcher from Summertown, Tennessee, transfer from UT Martin. He will be on the hill in relief of Cameron Gordon, who went 2 innings yesterday, gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 was earned, walked 1, struck out 3. And currently he is in line for a decision if Jackson does not come back to at least tie the game. He will take the loss if Motlow State wins the game. This game is scheduled for 9 innings. So we have 7 left, unless the mercy rule is taken into effect. Right now it's not looking like that in a 3-1 ball game. For the Motlow State Bucks, Irvin Hernandez, the shortstop, is the leadoff batter. John Hale in right field batting 2nd. Caleb Valdez will be the 3-hole hitter. He plays left field. Julius Scarce, center fielder, hitting cleanup. Tate Van Hooser, number 5 hitter, is at first base. Jackson Cothran, 2nd team all-conference catcher, is batting 6th. Gabe Seibert at 2nd base. He bats 7th. The DH, J.B. Bell, hits 8th, and Tucker Allen down at 3rd base, batting 9th. And we are waiting to see who the new Motlow State pitcher is, as they are gathering in front of their 3rd base dugout. We do have some new umpires here. Let's see if I recognize anybody. I do recognize one, but I'm not positive of the name. It may be. When one has umpired here before, I know we have a few. We have umpires from all over the state here in the tournament, so I won't guess. But here's how we got to this point. The Green Jays in the top of the first inning had their leadoff batter reach on an error. Nomar Prieto extended his 15-game hitting streak on his first at-bat with a single and now has a 16-game hitting streak. On the play, the Garrett Bird moves to third base, so they had first and third. Had a double steal. Prieto steals second, but the throw down to second base was cut off by the second baseman, Gabe Seibert, who threw to the plate to catch Garrett Bird trying to score for the first out of the inning. Michael Bell struck out. Chris Godwin flew out to end the first inning. Then in the home half of the first, Irvin Hernandez grounded out to the first baseman for the first out. John Hale reached on an error by the second baseman. And while he was on first base, a failed pickoff attempt by Cameron Gordon moved him to second base. Caleb Valdez walked. Julius Scarce then hit a absolute missile down the third base or first base line. Got all the way to the wall, and 2 runs scored on his triple. Tate Van Hooser struck out. Jackson Cawthorn struck out to end the first. Then in the top of the second inning, Connell Harden popped out to the first baseman. Jacob Bryant stepped to the plate, hit his second home run of the season. Solo shot to dead center field. Kylan Joyner singled, but was stranded at second base when Galvin Sims grounded out and Mike Romagno struck out. Then in the bottom of the second, the last half inning that was played before the weather delay, Gabe Seibert singled into right center field. J.B. Bell sacrificed him to second. Tucker Allen struck out. Irvin Hernandez singled to right center and drove in Seibert. John Hale flew out to end the inning. And that's when the weatherman, our athletic trainer here at Volunteer State, Justin McKinney, came out and talked to the home plate umpire, Brian Sheets, and said that we need to be in a weather delay. So that's in fact what happened. And then the ball game ended, or at least for the day, ended with no further action. Number 37 is our new pitcher for Motlow State. That is Ryder Morey, 6 foot, 170-pound right-handed pitcher from Moore County High School in Lynchburg, Tennessee. He's a redshirt freshman. And he is on basically as a starting pitcher as Jackson Cawthorn fires a strike down to second base. And we are about set to go right at 4 o'clock Central. Garrett Bird will lead off for the Green Jays.
Leading off the top of the third.
Beautiful sunny weather right now, but tarp had been on until about 2 hours ago. And the first pitch in the top of the third swung on and fouled at the plate. We are underway at 4 p.m. Central Time. Game time temperature 78 degrees. Mostly cloudy, but sunny here in Middle Tennessee right now. Garrett Bird reached on an error by third baseman. That is smashed foul down into the wet drainage area right in front of the bullpen. Baseballs will be getting wet if they end up in the outfield, as the outfield is not draining exceptionally well. There's a swing and a miss. So 3 pitches and Garrett Bird goes down. Good start for Morey. Brings to the plate Nomar Prieto, who owns the longest hitting streak in the TCCAA this year. First pitch in there for a called strike. 16 games got extended on his first at-bat yesterday in this ball game. Swung on an MGM Industries foul ball off to the right side. Seeing a good clear picture through the MGM Industries windows that were custom made for the press box here at the Tim Garrett Baseball Complex. Ground ball, hot shot to third. Tucker Allen up with it, and throw over to Tate Van Hooser. 2 up, 2 down. A good start for the Bucks. Michael Bell will step to the plate. 2 out, nobody on. He struck out in the first inning yesterday afternoon. First play-in game was between the number 8 seed Cleveland State Cougars against Roan State. Roan State won that game 10-7, sending Cleveland State back home. Swing and a miss by Bell. That is 7 straight pitches that are in the zone or swung on and missed or hit. That is now 8 in a row, 8 strikes from Ryder Morey. See if he can make it 9. He does not. Nice block by Jackson Cawthorn. An excellent defensive catcher is Jackson Cawthorn, and the stick has been getting hot as of late. Jackson Cawthorn from Siegel High School. Count goes 2 balls and 2 strikes. On deck, Chris Godwin, the first baseman. Two-two pitch. Grounded foul toward the Motlow State dugout. Assistant coach Hayden Tapper for the Green Jays down in the third base coach's box. 2-2 pitch just missed inside. I think that looks like a player down there at first base. Full count Ministries, full count. Base hit in the left field. 2 out knock for Michael Bell. That is the 4th hit for Jackson State. Michael Bell now 1 for 2.
Number 22, Chris Godwin.
Godwin steps in from the left-handed batter's box, sees a pitch in the right-handed batter's box for a called strike. Godwin flew out to left field to end the first inning. Came in hitting .274. Breaking pitch tapped towards second base. Seibert comes in, gloves, and the transfer makes the throw over to first base. Nice play by Gabe Seibert. And that ends the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. We are through a half inning here as we resume play-in game number 2. You are watching the final play-in game of the TCCAA Conference Tournament on the VolState Sports Network. Tim Reese back on the campus of Volunteer State Community College. We move to the bottom of the third inning and play in game number 2 between Jackson State and Motlow State. On the mound for the Green Jays, Corey Francis.
Leading off the bottom of the third for the Bucks, number 10.
This is appearance number 16 on the year, his 11th in relief. 37 innings, giving up 42 hits, 40 runs, 32 were earned. 35 walks, 43 strikeouts. Opponent's hitting .294. First opponent he faces is Caleb Valdez. 3, 4, and 5 due up for Motlow State. Valdez walked and scored in the first inning. Breaking pitch misses way outside. Count goes 2 balls and no strikes on Valdez from Dalton, Georgia. 5'9", 180-pound sophomore playing left field. And he drives one up the middle, and that will just get through. Nomar Prieto was trying to make at least a diving stop to keep it in the infield, but not sure he would have had a play if he had caught it. A base hit for Valdez. The fourth hit for the Bucks as left-handed hitting Julius Scarce steps to the plate. He tripled right down the right field line between the foul line and Chris Godwin, the first baseman. Got all the way down into that corner before Kylan Joyner could grab it. Foul ball straight back at you. Corey Francis will step and throw over to first base. Valdez back. Valdez 2 for 4 in stolen bases this year. Count goes 1 ball, 1 strike. Bucks came into this game with 60 stolen bases in 73 attempts. Another foul ball to the screen. Softball should be finishing up their game 3 from yesterday, which is Dyersburg State against Cleveland State. I'll try to get a score there. I think that's right. That breaking pitch just missed somewhere. Volunteer State will take on Motlow State in the only other game that they'll play. And Scarce swings and misses on a high fastball. First out in the third. First strikeout for Corey Francis.
Next to bat for the Bucks,
Tate Van Hooser will step in. He struck out in the first inning. The Motlow State first baseman. 6'1", 225-pound sophomore. That's a fastball right there that he was able to lay off of that Scarce was not. Van Hooser from Princeton, Kentucky. Transfer from Rend Lake College. 3 players on Motlow State's squad that played at Rend Lake. Chin high. Inside fastball there. Count goes 2 balls and no strikes. Van Hooser playing in game number 35 at a .206 batting average. 5 home runs, 18 RBIs. Valdez leads off, and he'll draw a throw from Corey Francis. Columbia State leads the TCCAA in stolen bases, 154. Southwest Tennessee not too far behind, 135. There's a step off and another throw over. Valdez back on his belly. Motlow State 9th in the league. Count now 3 balls and no strikes. Dyersburg State, who's the number 4 seed team in the conference tournament, is last in the league with only 45 stolen bases. Cleveland State and Jackson State right around and Roan State right in that 60 mark. 4-pitch walk to Van Hooser, puts runners at first and second. And Jackson Cothran steps to the plate. Cothran, a recent commitment to Ohio University in Athens, Tennessee. The Bobcats from Siegel High School swings it from the left side. Last 10 games before the conference tournament, 9 for 28, a double and a triple, 3 home runs, 13 RBIs in that 10-game stretch, and was named in a tie with Owen Brock from Chattanooga State as the second team all-conference. Had a bit of struggle at the plate this year, but as I said, he's coming on with the stick. 3 home runs in 10 games, pretty good streak. He's a second big breaking pitch from the left-hander in there for a called strike. Now down in the count, no balls, 2 strikes. Played summer ball in the Ohio Valley League for the Full Count Rhythm, where he and his teammates won a championship this past summer. A gritty player. Got to watch him for his time with Full Count, and he will be back again this summer. Looking at a 1-ball, 2-strike count with 2 on and 1 out. Fouls that one off. On deck batter Gabe Seibert makes the play off of the screen. Hope he didn't pull a muscle. Reagan going after that ball. He's shaking his right hand now. 1-ball, 2-strike count again. Drilled into right field. That'll get down for a base hit. Kylan Joyner charges. Head coach Dan McShay will hold the runner at third base. Bases will be loaded. Second hit of the inning. Gabe Seibert steps to the plate. Seibert, a 6'1", 190-pound sophomore from Rossview High School in Clarksville, Tennessee.
Next to bat for the Bucks, number 12, Gabe Seibert.
5 hits now for the Bucks. 3 runs. 1 run and 4 hits for the Jackson State Green Jays, who first pitch fouled off. Jackson State came in with a record of 7-35 overall in the season, 3-23 in conference play. They tied with Roan State at that 3-23 record, but by virtue of the last game of the year, they lost to Roan State 6-4. That put them in the number 10 seed. Motlow State came in 25-20 overall, 13-13 in conference play, which gave them a number 7 seed. Gabe Seibert now down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes, just like Jackson Cothran was. Corey Francis delivers, and that ball is hit out the left field. You can see the water splash. Michael Bell up with it. The ball is cut off. That is a 2-run single for Gabe Seibert. Caleb Valdez and Tate Van Hooser come around to score. Runners now at first and second. Out of the dugout, head coach Michael Winders for Jackson State to have a conversation as a right-hander is getting loose in the Green Jays bullpen. 3rd hit in the inning. J.B. Bell, the DH, will step to the plate with 1 out and 2 on. A single, a strikeout, a walk, and 2 singles have now plated 2 runs for Motlow State, and they take a 4-run lead, 5-1 over Jackson State. plate umpire comes out to break up the meeting. Corey Francis still in the ball game.
Now batting for the Bucks, number 6, J.B. Bell.
J.B. Bell playing in game number 23, 277 batting average. Steps in from the right side to face the left-handed Corey Francis, who's struggling here in the bottom of the third inning. Bell laid down a sacrifice bunt yesterday in the second inning. Moved Gabe Seibert along, and he ended up scoring on a base hit by Irvin Hernandez. Swing and a foul tip into the mitt. On a high slider or cutter. And a pitch on the inside corner for a called strike. Ground ball to short. Prieto to second base, and that's all they'll get. The force of the second runner at second base. So J.B. Bell reaches on a fielder's choice on the play. Cawthorn moves over to third. Gabe Seibert will go rest in the dugout on the 6-4 force out. 2 outs now here in the bottom of the third inning. Runners at the corner, line to line. Runners at the corner. When you see folks out here taking care of the field, as Michael Winders now walking very slowly, like he's creeping up to the foul line. He wants to talk maybe to the umpire about something. He's not stepping between the lines yet. I think he's asking the base umpire, who I believe that's Jake Wolf, maybe about the play at second base as to whether or not the runner should have slid, or if he veered off. It looked like Coach Winders got the explanation that he needed to hear. Tucker Allen steps in with 2 out and 2 on and 2 in. He drives one out to center field. Garrett Bird turns around and does a 180. Comes back to face the infield, makes the catch. Close to the warning track. Tucker Allen stung that ball, but Garrett Bird is a very athletic outfielder and made the catch. The Bucks score 2 more to take a 5-1 lead. You're listening to the VolState Sports Network.
Leading off the top of the 4th,
Move to the top of the fourth
Number
inning.
34, Connell Harding.
Connell Harden, the DH, steps in against Ryder Morey. First pitch, breaking pitch in there for a called strike. Shows Connell Harden at 6'1", 220. He looks a little bit taller than 6'1", standing in that box, and he taps one toward his own dugout. Foul, now down in the count 0-2. He popped out to the first baseman to lead off the second inning. Jackson State in a 4-run deficit. Scheduled for 9 innings here today. This will be the only game played today. The schedule will be moved back as that ball is ripped to right field. John Hale will go back and make a catch over his shoulder going toward the fence for out number 1. Harden put a charge into that one. Ryder Morey has set down 4 of the 5 that he's faced to give up a 2-out single to Michael Bell.
Number 10, Jacob Bryant.
Now was facing Jacob Bryant, who is the producer of the only run in this game for Jackson State. He hit a high fastball that was about neck high, it appeared. Hit it over straightaway center field, just to the left of the U.S. flag out there in dead center field over the batter's eye. It was an absolute poke. Now he's looking at a fastball right at the knees for a called strike. Down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Bryant from Medina, Tennessee. 6 foot, 200-pound freshman. Third baseman. Breaking pitch misses low and away. 38th game of the year, came in hitting .217. The 1-2, tapped foul down the third base line. Bryant 8 doubles, which leads the squad. 9 extra base hits. Swing and a miss there. Second strikeout for Morey. 2 outs now here in the top of the 4th inning.
Next to bat for the Greenhawks, number 23, Kylan Joyner.
Kylan Joyner, the right fielder, steps to the plate. He singled into left center field in the second inning right after Bryant hit the solo shot. Reached second base on a ground out by Galvin Sims, who's on deck, but was stranded there when Romagno struck out. Big swing and a miss on maybe a changeup that disappeared when it got to the plate. Is that an 0-2 count now? Do you have 0-2, Reagan, or 1-1? That ball's hit out to right center field. John Hale looking up, and he sees that ball go into the bushes in right center field. I thought Joyner had gotten jammed on that, but if he did, he muscled one out at about 360, at the 345 mark out there by the light pole, and he drove that one over the fence and over the green area between the fence and the bushes and trees, headed toward the gap out there, and that is truly the gap. It's a gap distribution center out in right field. So a second solo home run for Jackson State. Galvin Sims swings and fouls the ball back into the catcher's mitt. That is the first home run of the season for Kylan Joyner. Off the end of the bat, grounded up the middle. Hernandez makes the play over to first base to retire Sims. But 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. Jackson State Green Jays inch closer with a solo shot in the top of the 4th. Find themselves down 5-2. You are listening to TCCAA Baseball Conference Tournament action on the VolState Sports Network. We are back for the bottom of the fourth inning.
Off the bottom
Tim
of the
Reese,
fourth,
Reagan
Bucks.
Smith
Number 1.
producing this show.
Hernandez.
Recent graduate, communications graduate from right here at VolState Community College. Top of the order up for Motlow State. Irvin Hernandez sees a pitch just above the letters from Corey Francis on for his second inning. Had a rough ride of it in the third. Gave up 2 runs, 3 hits. 3 hits were all singles, but a walk mixed in doesn't help. And there is the 4th hit off of Corey Francis. Second hit for Irvin Hernandez. He is now 2 for 3. Another leadoff runner for Motlow State. And for the third time since we've started back today, head coach Michael Winders will come out of the dugout, and we will have a Summit Concrete call to the bullpen. We'll take a quick break, tell you about the new pitcher when we return on the VolState Sports Network. Summit Concrete call to the bullpen for the Jackson State Green Jays in relief of Corey Francis. Right-hander Jack Hearn, 6 foot, 180-pound freshman from Henning, Tennessee, attended Ripley High School. Hearn is on for his 14th appearance of the year, 7th in relief. He has 7 starts, 57 innings, giving up 85 hits, 66 runs, 58 were earned, 18 walks, 35 strikeouts. Opponents hitting .328. He has 2 complete games. My memory serves, either one or both of those was in a loss. Those complete games, so he might have been taking some innings for the team. The young right-hander is a 9.10 ERA, 2-6 record. He is on to stop the bleeding here for the Green Jays, as Motlow State has a leadoff single from their leadoff batter, Irvin Hernandez, and John Hale steps to the plate. One of their best hitters in the lineup, hitting .327, 7 home runs, 25 RBIs. He's 0 for 2 in this ball game, though. First pitch from Hearn is high. John Hale with a 2-game hitting streak coming into the conference tournament. Drives one to right field. That will be down. He now has a 3-game hitting streak. That goes to the fence. Kylan Joyner digs it out, throws back to the infield. Chris Godwin runs that one down, and that is a double off the bat of John Hale. Runners now at second and third with nobody out. Caleb Valdez, the number 3 hole hitter, steps in. It is the 8th hit of the ball game. Things not looking good for Jackson State, as first base and third base are in. Second baseman Galvin Sims is playing about halfway at his second base position, but Nomar Prieto is playing up the middle and back. Valdez singled right up the middle, right about where Prieto is standing right now. Sees a fastball come inside. 2 balls, no strikes. Jack Hearn is in a predicament now as another right-hander loosens up in the Green Jays bullpen. Radar guns are up right behind home plate. That fastball must have missed upstairs. 3 balls and no strikes. A base open, but Julius Scarce is on deck. .326 hitter with 8 home runs. Go from the frying pan into the fire, and there is a 4-pitch walk that loads the bases. So a double and a walk for Jack Hearn. Corey Francis ends up going 1 inning plus 1 batter, gives up 4 hits, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. He's responsible for Hernandez, who's on third, and he's already given up 2 runs in the bottom of the third. 5-2, Motlow State leads here in the second play-in game of the Tennessee JUCO Conference Tournament. First pitch called a strike. Scarce started to go, but actually probably would have been a good pitch to swing at. Big hole on that left side of the infield. Galvin Sims now at double play depth at second base. Hernandez almost playing up the middle. Ball's lifted out to center field. Back goes Garrett Bird, and he is at the track, makes the catch. This will be a sacrifice fly, and both runners move up from first to second and second to third on the deep fly out to left center field. RBI for Scarce. That's 3 now in the ball game for Julius Scarce, who's heading to Eastern Kentucky next year. Started at Wren Lake and plays year number 2 here with Motlow State. 6-2 lead now for Motlow State. Brings Tate Van Hooser to the plate. He walked in the third, struck out in the first, taps that one foul to the on-deck circle for Jackson State. Softball action in the game that just finished, which was the first game of the actual 2-and-out tournament. And Hooser will take one in the leg. Hobble on down to first base with a bruise. First hit batter of the ball game. Loads the bases back again for Jackson Cawthorn. Cleveland State goes down in defeat to Dyersburg State. So Cleveland State will move to the losers bracket. Dyersburg will slide over into the winners bracket. If you're looking at an old bracket, as I am, all the games will be moved up a day. So Monday's games will be played on Tuesday, tomorrow. Cawthorn looks at a first pitch outside. So Corey Francis's line is complete. Foul ball off to the left side. Francis ends up giving up 3 runs, and they were earned on 4 hits. Drive out to right field. That will get down in front of Joyner. Runner at third has to hold up, but he's going to score, and right behind him will be Caleb Valdez. Catcher Michael Romagno did not realize that the second runner was coming home. Looked like the throw beat the runner, but Romagno had no idea that that runner was coming. A late tag, so Jackson Cawthorn with a 2-run single. Hale was holding up as he should to see if the ball was going to be caught, but Caleb Valdez, he took a chance and went ahead and came onto the plate. Jackson Cawthron now 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs. And Motlow State is threatening to blow this game wide open. Breaking pitch in there for a called strike to Gabe Seibert, who's 2 for 2. Three runs in the inning. Drive out to right field. Joyner will make the catch. Get the ball back in quickly, and no runner is able to advance on that out. 2 outs now here in the bottom of the 4th inning. J.B. Bell steps in. Switch hitter will hit from the left side against Jack Hearn. First pitch misses outside. An 8-2 lead for Motlow State. Here in the bottom of the 4th, we're scheduled for 9. Fastball misses low and outside. I believe we're at a 10-run mercy rule after 7 innings is how we sit on a 9-inning game. Most of the conference weekend games are single game on a Friday and then doubleheader 7-inning ball games on a Saturday. So the single game is a 9-inning contest. All these games in this tournament are 9-inning games. J.B. Bell from Buford, Georgia, transfer from Georgia Southern University, 5'10", 170-pound sophomore. He hits one hard to the right of Chris Godwin that sneaks into right field. 1 run will score. That is Tate Van Hooser. Comes around after being hit by a pitch, and Jackson Cawthron moves over to third base. RBI single for J.B. Bell. And Jack Hearn is being treated rudely by the Motlow State Bucks.
Now batting for the Bucks, number 2.
The third hit off of Jack Hearn, and Tucker Allen steps in, the 9th batter to come to the plate for Motlow State here in the bottom of the 4th inning. 4 runs in, 2 more on the base paths. Swing and a miss. Tucker Allen looking for home run number 11. He leads the squad with 10. 34 RBIs is a .323 batting average. The runner goes. Pitch is swung on and popped up out to right field. Joyner should have this one easily, and he does. There's the 3rd out of the inning. Joyner had a lot of work out there, a double and then 2 flyouts. He was a busy young man. 4 runs on 4 hits, no errors, 2 runners left on base. We are through 4 innings. Motlow State leads 8-2 here at the TCCAA Baseball Conference Tournament on the VolState Sports Network. Tim Reese, Reagan Smith, and our PA DJ scoreboard, Toyota of Gallatin scoreboard operator Alex Qualls make up the press box gang here for play-in game number 2. Motlow State is looking good for staying in this tournament. Jackson State, who steps to the plate right now with 9-1-2, is looking for a big inning. Michael Romagno looks at a first pitch, breaking pitch in there for a called strike. Another breaking pitch, he's fouled off to the right side over the maintenance shed to the down the first base line. Romagno, a transfer from Dyersburg State. Taps one, it just goes foul. So he said yesterday, probably a teammate of catcher Jackson Cothran. They both came from Siegel High School over there in Murfreesboro. Romagno, 5'10", 185-pound freshman. Could be a redshirt freshman. Drives one into left field, and that's a good start. If you're needing some runs, leadoff base hit by Mike Romagno. It's the second hit given up by Ryder Morey, who came on in relief of Jake Gully, who started yesterday's game. Went the first 2 innings before the weather delay shut things down. 41 minutes after the start of the ball game yesterday. Garrett Bird, leadoff batter, steps in. Garrett Bird made the second team all-conference squad in the outfield. Had a very good year, hit .338 for the season. Leadoff batter, and when he played here against Volunteer State, he went and got everything in the outfield, and I mean everything. Led the team in official at-bats and hits. And count goes 3 balls and no strikes. Also led the squad in strikeouts with 38. From Martin, Tennessee, attended Martin Westview. There's a fastball on the inside corner for a called strike. 3 balls, 1 strike. He's 0 for 2. Struck out on 3 pitches as the first batter when we resumed today's action. 3-1 pitch. Popped up in the left center field. Julius Scarce now goes back into right at the warning track in front of the MGM Industries outfield sign, just to the left of the batter's eye, and makes the catch for out number 1. Ball must have surprised Scarce as well. I didn't think he hit that one as well.
Next to bat for the Greenhawks, number 12.
So 1 out, 1 on. Nomar Prieto steps to the plate. From Vega Baja, Puerto Rico, Jackson Cothran got a little discombobulated there, got ahead of himself as he was ready to pick off down to first base. Ball popped out, and he didn't know where that thing was going, but as it came out of his hand, it ended up hitting Prieto. 362 batting average. Breaking pitch for a called strike. As I said, extended his conference leading hitting streak to 16 games with a single in the first inning yesterday. 1-1 pitch blocked by Cothran as that was in the dirt. Thanks to the American Legion, post 17, we're operating the concession stands here for the TCCAA tournament. Got U.S. flags lining left field and right field lines. Looks very festive here at the Tim Garrett Baseball Complex. Beautiful sunshine. Not sure when the rain's coming, but it is going, and the runner goes. Ball is grounded to Irvin Hernandez, who gloves and throws to first. Magno moves up to second base on the ground out. 2 outs and a runner at second. Down 7 runs, you don't typically see a straight out steal, but that would have been a hit and run. Michael Bell steps in. He singled to left with 2 outs in the third, but was stranded at first base.
Number 9, Michael Bell.
Michael Bell, another Medina, Tennessee product, also from South Gibson. He and Jacob Bryant. So we got another one on here. Connell Harden. That ball is roped to shortstop. Hernandez has a little trouble setting that back foot, but ends up getting enough of it in the grass and makes a throw. One hopped over to Tate Van Hooser to set down Michael Bell. So 2 ground outs to the shortstop. Ends the 5th inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 runner left on base. Score is still 9-2. Motlow State leads Jackson State. You are listening to TCCAA Conference Tournament action on the VolState Sports Network. Tim Reese and Reagan Smith back for the bottom of the 5th inning. Motlow State will have deja vu all over again. Just like the 4th, they'll send their leadoff batter, Irvin Hernandez, to the plate. This time facing Jack Hearn, who gets a first pitch strike called. Hernandez was the last batter that Corey Francis faced. Hernandez singled into right center field. Was the first run of 4 to score in the bottom of the 4th. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now 2-1 to Hernandez. Irvin Hernandez from Cohutta, Georgia. Assume I'm saying that right. Cohutta, Georgia. Fouls that one off to the left side. That will get into the parking lot. An MGM Industries foul ball. Transfer from ETSU, East Tennessee State University. 5'8", 170-pound, switch hitting middle infielder. 2-2 pitch, misses high and away. We'll have a Full Count Ministries full count. Go to fullcountministries.com to see all that the ministry is doing here in Middle Tennessee as well as all over the world. Mostly going to Nicaragua for mission trips. The pitch misses high. Irvin on the leadoff walk. That is the second walk by Jack Hearn, who's now faced 9 batters. He has retired 3. John Hale wearing number 9, or I'm sorry, wearing number 22 in the yellow jerseys. Yesterday he was number 9 in the white jerseys. Swings at the first pitch he sees and drives that one toward the hospitality pavilion down the right side. Hope Athletic Director Bobby Hudson's okay. And VolState alum Bill Ridings. And the line to line, and there's a ball thrown in the dirt, but blocked by Godwin. And the Game Time Sports Fields, GTSF folks that are here taking care of the field. They hunker down over there by the hospitality tent. Ground ball too short, could be two. Over to second, throw to first base is not in time. John Hale beats the throw from Galvin Sims, so there'll be a fielder's choice. Hale will replace Hernandez at first base. Caleb Valdez steps to the plate. He has reached base all 3 times he's come to the plate. Walked in the first and scored, singled in the third and scored, walked in the fourth, and yes, he also scored there. 3 runs scored. Fouls that first pitch off to the left side. Spectators standing up, seeing if that got their vehicle. Always amazed as I drive up to a baseball field and see where people park their car. People have been going to ballparks for years and years and years, and yet they'll park right next to a baseball field that they know there's going to be foul balls, and I guess they just roll the dice. Valdez looking at a 1-1 pitch and pops that one again foul. Off toward Pickle Fieldhouse, where the Lady Pioneers and the Pioneers play their basketball in the Richard Moore Gymnasium right next to Pioneer Field here at the Tim Garrett Baseball Complex. 1-2 pitch is fisted off the glove of Chris Godwin. That'll be an infield hit or possibly an error on Godwin. It got off of his glove. I am not the official scorer, and Alex Qualls, our scoreboard operator, is not either. I'm going to give him a hit, Alex. You do what you want. I'm going to give him an infield hit. John Hale moves down to second base. If he would have gloved that, he had a play at second base, but he was holding the runner on at first and had to come off and make a backhanded play. 1 out and 2 on. Swing and a miss by Julius Scarce on a changeup. Jack Hearn, the third Green Jays pitcher. Cameron Gordon started and pitched the 2 innings that were played yesterday. 2 innings, 3 hits, 2 were earned. Or 2 runs, I'm sorry. 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned. 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. Scarce squares the bunt, but don't think that was a sacrifice attempt. Not with 1 out. He runs well, so obviously bunting for a hit there. Pitch misses outside. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out. So I'm going to foul ball. Scarce tripled yesterday in the first inning, drove in the first 2 runs of the ball game for Motlow State, who have scored in every inning up to this point. 2 in the first, 1 in the second, 2 in the third, and a 4 spot in the 4th inning. Take a 9-2 lead. 9 runs and 11 hits for Motlow State. Off the end of the bat, just barely got a piece of that, did Julius Scarce. One of the top hitters for Rend Lake a year ago. Had a coaching change at Rend Lake. Former assistant coach at Belmont University, Chris Modelmog, became the new coach in the second stint. There's a shot to second base. Galvin Sims catches it going backwards. Gets the force at second base, but Prieto does not make the throw to first. Caleb Valdez wasn't sure that the out was recorded there at second base, but base umpire said yes, in fact, it was. Now we've got a conversation that the umpire has, I think, instigated. He's going to go out and talk to the base umpires. And again, I think the head coach Michael Winters is questioning whether or not Motlow State is sliding into second base or if there is some sort of interference at the bag at second that prevents Prieto from throwing the ball on to first base. As head coach Michael Winters is standing at the line as the umpires congregate out just to the left of the mound. If they deem that Valdez did not slide into second base, and they're going to say out at second and out at first. Now Dan McShay will have the conversation with the home plate umpire, and not positive this is still the same home plate umpire Brian Sheets from yesterday. There's a chance that it is, but after discussion, he determined that the runner did not give the fielder a chance to turn that double play. So Julius Scarce will, in fact, ground into a 6-4-3 double play to end the inning. As Dan McShay still talking to the home plate umpire. No runs, one hit, no errors, and one runner left on base. We're through 5 innings, scheduled for 9. Motlow State leads 9-2. You're listening to the VolState Sports Network. A little controversial ending to the 5th, but we move on to the 6th. Chris Godwin facing Ryder Morey. First pitch from Morey in there for a called strike. Godwin 0 for 2. Fly out and a ground out. This is inning number 4 for Ryder Morey. Started today's action after Jake Gully went the 2 innings that were played yesterday, gave up 3 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, 2 strikeouts. 2 runs scored by Jackson State are on solo home runs. According to the weather forecast, it appears as though we should be fine before any more precipitation comes in. Looks like a little before 10 p.m. Central. There's a line drive base hit, a leadoff knock for Chris Godwin, his first hit of the ball game. Connell Harden steps to the plate.
Now batting for the Greenhawks, number 34, Connell Harden.
Connell Harden steps in from the left side. 0 for 2, pop out and a fly out. Green Jays need to put some hits together, and big inning. They're in danger of having their season end here today. The loser of today's game, it will be the end of their season. The winner moves on to the 2-and-out tournament that will begin tomorrow. Now it should have started today. There's a breaking pitch on the outside corner, called strike. On deck, Jacob Bryant, who has one of the 2 solo home runs. Long fly ball down the right field line, but it will go well foul. As the VolState team out working out, they're hitting in the batting cages on the other side of right field, as well as, I guess those are the pitchers out there on the other side of the left center field camera. When you see the full shot, you'll see it. There's a ground ball, slowly hit the second base. Seibert up with it, and he'll throw on to first base to get Connell Harden. Chris Godwin moves down to second base on the ground out. Harden now 0 for 3. Jacob Bryant steps in with a home run and a strikeout.
Number 10, Jacob Bryant.
Ryder Morey has done a tremendous job for Motlow State. It's a call on the inside corner there. 13th appearance, 8th in relief. Came in with a 6.51 ERA, is giving up 1 solo home run to Kylan Joyner, who's standing on deck. No one warming in the bullpen, so Coach Dan McShay is fine to ride Ryder right now. Apparently that one missed inside. Looked pretty close to a called strike earlier. Ryder Morey from Lynchburg, Tennessee, Moore County High School. In the dirt. Scooped out of there by Jackson Cawthorn. Morey is a two-way player, has gotten 24 official at-bats, has 5 hits and 5 RBIs, a .208 batting average. On base average of .375. Not sure where he plays when he gets into a ball game, but timeout call, 3 balls and a strike. Is that what you all have, is 3-1? Okay. I think they were checking with us up here as to what, if in fact we had that. I don't know. Qualsey, you're going to have to put that phone down and make sure that you're watching that umpire, buddy. Qualsey, you are all over it. You're juggling some balls over there. You're spinning some plates. Full Count Ministries, full count to Jacob Bryant. I mean, you're speaking, you're playing music. Alex Qualls, a medical red shirt for the Pioneers this year, been our PA announcer all year long. Done a tremendous job. 3-2 pitch coming. Fouled off. Started at 4 o'clock, just a little bit past the 1 hour mark here as we resumed play here in play-in game number 2. Play-in game number 1 was won by Roan State over Cleveland State. Popped up into shallow left center field. In comes Julius Scarce. Tagging, but not tagging, is Chris Godwin. Now 2 outs and runner at second base. Kylan Joyner steps in. He's 2 for 2 on 2 different days. Singled in the second inning yesterday and homered in his only plate appearance so far today. Drove 1 into the
Now batting for
bushes
Green
in
Hawks,
right center
number
field
23, Tyler Joyner.
in the 4th inning. His first of the year. Joyner from Memphis, Tennessee, Germantown High School. 6 foot, 185-pound freshman. Playing right field, bats left, throws right. Comes in with a double, a triple, and now he has a home run. Hit all the boxes. 5 RBIs, playing in game number 26. Jackson State needs a 2-out base hit right here to get a little closer. There's a breaking pitch in there for a called strike. Tomorrow's first game is scheduled for 10 a.m. That's Dyersburg State against Columbia State. It's going to be some weather come in overnight. Of course, they will put the tarp on the field and hope that they'll be able to start action at 10 o'clock tomorrow, but it may end up being later in the afternoon, and there is a chance that 2 baseball games we played here at VolState, 2 at another location. 2-2 pitch, misses outside. We'll go to Full Count Ministries, full count. Dyersburg State, Columbia State, and that'll be followed by, not sure who will be playing Walters State. They will reseed depending on the winner of this game, but looks like Roan State would play Walters State. 3-2 pitch is swung on and driven down the left field line, and that will be caught in fair territory by Caleb Valdez for out number 3. Little splashing going on out there as well. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. 9-2, Motlow State leads. You're listening to the TCCAA Baseball Conference Tournament on VolState Sports Network. Tim Reese and Reagan Smith back at VolState Community College,
Number 32,
hosting the
Van Hooser.
Tennessee Community College Athletic Association Baseball Conference Tournament and softball across the way. Jack Hearn back out on the mound for Jackson State, and he is facing 5, 6, and 7 in the Motlow State batting order. Second full inning for Jack Hearn. Tate Van Hooser is 0 for 1. This was his 4th plate appearance. Drives one out to right center field, and that ball's gone. Kylan Joyner was running over there to about the same spot where he had hit a home run. Tate Van Hooser goes deep for the 6th time this year. Another solo shot to increase the lead to 8. 10-2. Goes opposite way. Now 1 for 2 on the day is Tate Van Hooser.
Now batting for the Bucks, number 25, Jackson
Jackson Cawthorn steps to the plate. He's had base hits in his last 2 plate appearances. Changeup in there for a called strike. He's 2 for 3. Tate Van Hoosers was a line drive. There's a big drive out to center field, sending Garrett Bird back. Still going back and at the base of the fence. It's almost straight away center field, hauls that one in for out number 1. Jackson Cawthorn gave that one a ride. Now 2 for 4. Gabe Seibert steps in. New second baseman for Jackson State, Wyatt Hemingway from Hendersonville, Tennessee, right next door to Gallatin. Attended Beach High School, one of the big rivals of Reagan Smith's alma mater, Station Camp. Reagan is a Station Camp Bison. Wyatt Hemingway is a Beach Buccaneer. Gabe Seibert is 2 for 3. Looks at an outside fastball on the corner for a called strike. Alex Qualls, our PA man, is a Lipscomb Academy Mustang. Is that right? The Mustangs. It's a big sports factory over there at Lipscomb Academy. They don't even go to class, do they? It's just basically just all sports, right? Football, baseball. That ball comes in and hits Gabe Seibert on the 1, the lower region of the 1 of the number 12, the back of his jersey. Second hit batter by Jack Hearn. That will draw a visit from head coach Michael Winders. It looks like we're going to have a pitching change here for Jackson State, so we'll tell you about the new pitcher when we return on the VolState Sports Network. Summit Concrete called to the bullpen for Jackson State in relief of Jack Hearn. Number 16, Dylan James, freshman right-hander from Eads, Tennessee, Briarcrest Christian High School, 5'10", 150-pound freshman. He will come in with a runner at first base and 1 out. And we have a pinch hitter that Dylan James will face. Number 27, Caleb Gupton, hometown boy here from Davidson Academy, will pinch hit for J.B. Bell, the DH. Gupton, 6'4", 220 pounds, swings at the first pitch. Pops that one up down toward the Jackson State bullpen. It will get out of play. If you saw any social media about Motlow State today, they spent a little bit of this morning or this afternoon over at Davidson Academy, a private Christian school here in the western part of Nashville, near Madison. That's where Caleb Gupton went to school, Davidson Academy, and they went over there and used their batting cages. Dylan James, breaking pitch misses high as the cloud starts to roll in, covering the sun. 1 run in on Tate Van Hooser's solo shot to right center field. A swing and a miss by Gupton. Count goes 2 balls and 2 strikes. Dylan James on for his 13th appearance of the year. His 11th appearance in relief. 0-1 record, 23 innings, giving up 30 hits, 25 runs, 23 are earned, walked 7, struck out 21 batters, and gives up a base hit. No, not a base hit. In comes Michael Bell. That ball stayed up. I thought he had a little more topspin on that. Michael Bell made a good play to charge that one and make the catch for a line out for the second out. Brings to the plate third baseman Tucker Allen. Just the swing and the way that ball had come off the bat over the head of Nomar Prieto, the shortstop. I just was confident that ball was going to get down, but Michael Bell made a good play. Breaking pitch stays high out of the hand of Dylan James. James, an 8.75 ERA. Team ERA for Jackson State is just a couple ticks below 10, so they've had a rough year on the mound. Fastball misses, I'm guessing outside. So this will be the only game played today in the baseball side. Softball side had a conclusion of the Dyersburg State, Cleveland State softball game that Dyersburg State won 4-3. And currently the Lady Pioneers are batting in the bottom of the first inning after giving up 1 run to Motlow State. VolState has scored 5 runs and still batting with 2 outs in the bottom of the first inning. There's a pitch. Apparently a balk was called. Said that Dylan James did not stay set for a full second. Not sure who called the balk, but count remains 3 balls and no strikes. Gabe Seibert will head down to second base on the balk. That is the first balk of the year charged to Dylan James. 4-pitch walk to Tucker Allen. Jack Hearn is still responsible for Seibert as he plunked him in the back as he stands at second base. And otherwise, Jack Hearn went 2 1/3 innings, giving up 5 hits, so far 4 runs, walked 2, and hit 2 batters. 10-2 Motlow State. They can score 2 more runs here in the bottom of the 6th and hold Jackson State scoreless in the top of the 7th. This ball game will end in 6.5 innings with a 10-run mercy rule. So Irvin Hernandez stepping to the plate. He's 2 for 3, 2 singles and a walk, scored a run, driven in a run. Dylan James trying to help his Green Jays to continue play at least for a couple more innings. That pitch gets in there for a called strike. Jackson State had a player, their shortstop, starting shortstop, Jalen Fithian from Memphis, Tennessee, Bartlett High School, was on fire and then ultimately ran into a problem at home plate as he was sliding in. I believe it was head first, and incurred an injury and has not played probably at least a month. He was hitting .417, played in 28 games, 40 hits. He was leading the club in batting. Ended with 6 doubles, 3 triples, 5 home runs, 20 RBIs, hitting .417, one of the top hitters in the leagues. That ball gets out of the glove of Mike Romagno. Pass ball will move runners to second and third. And Irvin Hernandez has a 3-1 count. John Hale on deck, hoping to get an at-bat here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Motlow State has scored in every inning but the 5th. There's a fastball in the outside corner, right on that river, right between the what would have been the white line on the right-handed batter's box and home plate. They call that area the river on both sides. No question that the umpires in this league all year long have definitely called way wider than a 17-inch plate. Tapper to shortstop. Going to be a tough play right there, and Prieto does make the play. A quick transfer from glove to hand and a throw on to first base to retire Irvin Hernandez. 1 run, 1 hit on the solo home run by Tate Van Hooser. No errors, 2 runners left on base. We are through 6, 10-2. Motlow State leads. You are watching TCCAA baseball action on the VolState Sports Network. Leadoff batter for Jackson State is Wyatt Hemingway, who came on in the bottom of the 6th inning at second base for Galvin Sims. Sees the first pitch from Ryder Morey, who's gone the distance here, at least for today. First pitch in there for a called strike. Fouled off to the right side. Count is no balls and 2 strikes, and that's exactly what it says on the Toyota Gallatin scoreboard. Occasionally we have some Wi-Fi issues here where that ball gets up there. A swing and a miss on a slider from Morey. Retires Hemingway. Third strikeout of the ball game by Ryder Morey. Mike Romagno steps in. He's 1 for 2. It's singled in the 5th inning.
Number 18, Mike Romagno.
Fouled back. Romagno down in the count, 0-2. Jackson State, 2 runs, 7 hits, 2 errors. Fouls that one off just to spoil a good pitch. Motlow State, 10 runs, 12 hits, 1 error. Magno hanging tough, fouling off pitches on the outside of the plate. He will get rung up. He should have swung at that one. That's pretty close to the same place those other 2 that he swung at. So back-to-back strikeouts for Ryder Morey. So he now moves to the top of the lineup. Garrett Bird still looking for his first hit of the game.
Number 8, Garrett Bird.
Came in with 44 hits, 9 home runs, 26 RBIs. Drives one to deep left field. I don't believe the field's going to hold this one, as he waits just a moment and then starts trotting around the bases as he sees that ball hit out into the parking lot. There's home run number 10 of the season. Another solo shot here in the ball game, and the 3rd solo home run for Jackson State. Reached out and jerked that one out of here. 10th home run of the year. Admired it just for a bit and then decided to take off. Maybe he saw that scoreboard up there that said 10-3, and his team was on the negative side of that 10-3. Nomar Prieto swings at a fastball that was riding in on him. 1 ball, 1 strike. He's 1 for 3. Fouled off the screen to the right over the head of Michael Bell. On deck. A 2-out solo home run by Garrett Bird. That ball's popped up, should be in play. Jackson Cothran over by the dugout, reaches over, but it just catches the lip of the roof of the dugout right next to the sticks that are sitting on top of that dugout. Took us a little while to figure out where those sticks were coming from, but then looked up to the light pole and see more sticks on the cage, the standing area up there where the maintenance people, I guess, fix the lights. There's a hawk that's building a nest up there, and occasionally some of those sticks fall down. 1 ball, 2 strike swing and a drive out to right center field. That will find green grass. Prieto will stretch it into a double. Wouldn't say that's the most advisable move to make down 7 runs in the 7th inning, but he got in there for a double. Now 2 for 4. Take a chance with 2 outs. That's what happened with Cleveland State yesterday, as they were down 10-7. Pinch runner got on first base, and
Michael Bell.
he tried to steal second base. Lane Spry cut him down to end the ball game and end the season for Cleveland State. Michael Bell steps in with 2 outs. Jackson State trying to muster a 2-out rally. There's a ground ball to Irvin Hernandez in the hole. Long throw. Just gets the runner at first base. Michael Bell running with a brace on, so I would assume he's got a bit of a leg issue going there, so no sense in rushing that throw if you're Irvin Hernandez. Makes a nice throw to retire the side, but 1 run on 2 hits. No errors, 1 runner left on base. 10-3, Motlow State leads. They score 3 here in the bottom of the 7th. Ball game will be over on the mercy rule. You're watching the second play-in game of the TCCAA Conference Tournament on the VolState Sports Network. Reagan Smith back at Pioneer Field in the Tim Garrett Baseball Complex, Gallatin, Tennessee, campus of Volunteer State Community College. John Hale leads off the bottom of the 7th inning, lines one over the dugout, does not get into the stands down the right field line. Pitching coach for the VolState Pioneers will pick that one up as he's walking back from the hospitality pavilion. John Hale 1 for 4 in the ball game. He doubled and scored in the 4th. One pitch, curveball, swing and a miss, and a bat toss that gets into the on-deck circle. Caleb Valdez, I don't think he had to do any jump rope there, but Hale will maybe get a little more pine tar this time. 1-2 is grounded up the middle. Prieto off to his left, and the throw is high to first base. John Hale will reach on an error by Nomar Prieto. Now Caleb Valdez will step in. There's a third error of the ball game, and John Hale has been involved with all 3 of the errors. He reached in the first inning yesterday on an error by second baseman Galvin Sims while he was on first base. An errant throw pickoff attempt by Cameron Gordon allowed him to get to second base, and now the third error is error on the shortstop. That ball's hit out the left field, sending Michael Bell back into the gap, and he'll make the catch. Fires the ball back into the infield. John Hale retreats quickly. 1 out. On the first pitch, swinging Caleb Valdez. Julius Scarce steps to the plate.
Now batting for the Bucks, number 11, Julius Scarce.
Breaking pitch to Scarce, misses high. Scarce grounded into the 6-4-3 double play. I assume it was recorded that way as actually a 6-4 fielder's choice ground out, with Caleb Valdez being forced at second. But the umpires ended up meeting and ruled that Valdez apparently did not slide correctly, or he interfered with Nomar Prieto at second base. And they deemed that the double play should be enforced. A bird flies right in front of, or between, the pitcher and the batter just as Dylan James was starting to throw that pitch. I don't know if that bothered Julius Scarce or not, but he got just a piece of that ball to get the 2-1 count. 2 balls and a strike. John Hale on at first. Nice block by Romagno. Count goes 3 balls and 1 strike. Runner goes, pitch is called a strike, throw down to second base, and they've got him. Romagno put one right on the bag. Prieto had to catch that while he's running to the bag, so a late release from his position. But a caught stealing John Hale is the second out. And the count goes full. We'll have a full count. Ministries full count with nobody on base. Tapper, slow roller. Hemingway charges. Gloves throws over to Godwin to get Scarce Ultimately, a 1-2-3 inning for Dylan James. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and nobody left on base. We're through 7 innings, heading to the top of the 8th. You are watching the live stream on YouTube on the VolState Sports Network.
Leading off the top of the
Top of the
Green
8th
Jays.
inning for
Number
the
22,
Jackson State
Chris
Green Jays.
Godwin.
Chris Godwin, first baseman. 4, 5, and 6 to face Ryder Morey. Out for inning number 6. Strike called on the outside river area. Sharp ground ball to Seibert at second. He picks and throws over to Van Hooser at first base for out number 1. Jackson State Green Jays now down to the last 5 outs, but possibly 2 outs if Motlow State holds them and then scores 3 in the bottom of the 8th. Connell Harden 0 for 3 steps in. Looks at a breaking pitch inside for a ball. Trying to see how the longest that Ryder Morey has gone in relief. Against Chattanooga State, went 4 1/3 innings. Drilled out to center field, scarce back about 5 steps and over to his right, and he makes the catch for out number 2. Jacob Bryant now stepping in with 2 outs and nobody on. Morey's last 2 outings have been starts.
Number 10, Jacob
Started
Bryant.
right here against VolState. A 6-4 win for Motlow State. That was in the last regular season game of the year. Went 6 innings, gave up 7 hits, 2 runs which were earned. Walked 3, struck out 5. Then in a start against these Green Jays, went 6 1/3 innings. Got the win. An 8-6 game by Motlow State. 0-2 pitch. Just got a piece of it over to his dugout. Many of the VolState players are coming to shaking hands with last year's pitching coach, Ross Spurgeon, who's down here scouting. He's pitching coach at Bellarmine. That ball is popped up, could be headed our way. We'll see if it bounces off the press box and apparently goes over the press box. We did not hear a bang on the roof. Jacob Bryant now 0-2, 2 outs, nobody on. Hard shot to third base. Tucker Allen up with a strong throw over to first base to retire Bryant. A 1-2-3 inning. for Motlow State. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th, and Motlow State can walk it off. You are watching TCCAA play-in game action on the VolState Sports Network. Bottom of the 8th inning we go in play-in game number 2. Winner of this game moves into the 2-and-out tournament that will start now tomorrow. Should have started today, but due to weather conditions yesterday and this morning, has basically pushed the tournament back one day. Tate Van Hooser, Jackson Cawthorn, and Gabe Seibert to face Dylan James. On for his 3rd full inning of work. Came on in relief in the 6th inning. Ducks his head out of the way of that breaking pitch. Tate Van Hooser struck out yesterday, but today is a totally different day in this ball game for Van Hooser. He walked and scored in the 3rd. It was hit by a pitch in the 4th and scored. And hit a solo home run leading off the 6th inning. His 6th bomb of the year. He went opposite way over the, just to the right of the line-to-line outfield sign. Out in right center field. Into the bushes, a line drive over the fence. Fouls that one straight back. Van Hooser from Princeton, Kentucky. Looks at another breaking pitch high. 3 balls and a strike. Having a little bit of a delay on the Toyota Gallatin scoreboard. Not sure why. If it's maybe it's bouncing off a different satellite, Alex. There's a drive into center field. That will hit the green. Tate Van Hooser content. He wants to play a triple header today. That's what Van Hooser wants to do. He's now 2 for 2 on base 4 times today. The number 5 hitter in the lineup, and out of the Green Jays dugout comes head coach Michael Winders, and we'll have a pitching change. I'll tell you about the new pitcher when we return on the VolState Sports Network. Summit Concrete call to the bullpen for the Green Jays. In relief of Dylan James, number 3, Josiah Binford. Sophomore right-hander from Murfreesboro, Tennessee, attended Rockvale High School. 6'2", 190 pounds. He is the 4th pitcher of the day, but the 5th pitcher that'll show on the box score. Josiah Binford in for only his 5th appearance on the mound. He's also a two-way player. Has played in 21 games, has 23 at-bats. Binford has 2 home runs as probably a DH or a pinch hitter. Has an 0-3 record. Has started 3 games. Only pitched 9 2/3 innings, given up 9 hits, 10 runs. 9 were earned. Has walked 9, struck out 7. Throws the ball hard. And has, the games that I've seen him pitch, had a little bit of trouble finding the strike zone. So we'll see how he does against Jackson Cothran with 1 out or nobody out and 1 on. Dylan James goes 1 2/3 innings, gives up 1 hit, does walk 1 batter. The 1 hit he gave up is Tate Van Hooser, who's standing at first base, or a few steps off. There's a fastball at the letters on the outside corner for a called strike. Cothran 2 for 4, 2 singles, 2 RBIs. Good base runner, has been on base a couple times, but has not been able to come around to score today. These two probably faced each other in high school, both from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Cothran from Siegel High School and Binford from Rockvale. That ball squirts away from Mike Romagno, and Van Hooser will move up on the wild pitch. Just barely got down in the dirt. From my vantage point, Romagno would tell you that he should have had that ball, but as an official scorer, that ball gets into the dirt, normally ruled a wild pitch. 2-1 count. Chris Godwin looks like he's sneaking in as though Cothran's going to lay down a bunt. But the potential winning run is on deck. Even if Jackson Cothran hit a 2-run home run, ball game wouldn't be over. Mercy rule is 10 runs after 7. It's 10-3 right now. Here is the Bucks hit in the bottom of the 8th inning, and now there's 2 on. So Gabe Seibert steps to the plate as the winning run.
Next to bat for the Bucks, number 12,
Gabe Seibert, 2 for 3, has reached base 3 times, 2 singles, and was hit by a pitch in his last plate appearance. Got him right in that left lower back, right around that kidney, and he is squaring around the bunt. Lays that one down third base line, but it will go foul. Dan McShay playing at least to get 2 runs here. At least move 2 batters or 2 runners into scoring position. Godwin is down at first base playing on the grass. Now he backs up a bit. Now he'll charge as Seibert squares. Seibert now turns back around to regular batting stance and does not offer a bunt, or does not offer at the pitch, which was high in the zone. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cat and mouse here at the plate. Jacob Bryant, third baseman, is on the grass inching, and he will stay back. He hits a ground ball hard that catches a piece of third base head coach Dan McShay. Might want to send a set of shin guards out to the coach, the helmet, as he takes it off his head, though he wants to strap it onto his leg. Wonder when that will take place. We had tougher coaches when I was growing up, Alex. They weren't wearing helmets out there while they were coaching. Well, these guys now have to wear helmets. It's required after the coach, who was that? That Texas Rangers coach, I believe. Was it Bouchel? Somebody was killed in the minor leagues with a line drive as a coach. Breaking pitch, swung on and missed. Binford retires Gabe Seibert on a nice breaking pitch. Binford's walked a batter and struck out a batter.
Number 27, Caleb Gupton.
So 1 out, 2 on. Caleb Gupton will get his second at-bat of the game. He came on as the first sub of the game for Motlow State. Brought to you by Jersey Mike's. A sub above, located right across the street. Runner at second base, Tate Van Hooser, started on the base as Binford started to deliver the pitch, and Van Hooser ran off second base like his hair was on fire toward third base. But he did actually stop before Gupton swung the bat. Now he has a normal lead down there at second base. Gupton with his hands low, swings and misses. Has his hands just a little bit below his shoulders as he is set up with a very relaxed looking stance. 0-2 pitch coming. Swings and misses at a pitch that was eye high. He will go down on strikes. Gupton now 0 for 2. Tucker Allen steps in, looking for his first hit, and he could end the ball game with a walk-off home run. The leading home run hitter for Motlow State. Ten home runs. Hit number 10 right here last weekend against Volunteer State. Looks at a first pitch in there for a called strike. 0 for 3 with a walk. On base, or on deck, Irvin Hernandez hoping to get an at-bat. Unless Allen connects with a cut like he just took right there. Came up empty there. 10-3 lead for Motlow State. If they score 3, ball game will be over. 10-run mercy rule. Thank you for joining us on the VolState Sports Network here on YouTube. All the games will be carried right here on the VolState Sports Network. 0-2 pitch, just off the handle, fouled off to the right side. Lord willing, Reagan Smith and I will be along for each of the games. As I said, there's a chance that the 4 games tomorrow have to be divided up into 2 different venues, 2 here, 2 at Drakes Creek Park in Hendersonville. We are efforting to find a broadcast crew to bring you the action over at Drakes Creek Park, which happens to be the place where I broadcast home games for the Full Count Rhythm in the summer. So we have the equipment. We just got to find somebody who's not working a real job tomorrow, Reagan. As a retired man myself, I've got plenty of opportunity to broadcast. There's a breaking pitch in the dirt, blocked nicely by a home plate umpire, but he does not help Romagno out, the catcher, and pick it up and throw down to third base. Both runners will move up on the wild pitch. Van Hooser to third, and Cawthorn down to second. That caught a piece. It appears as though the home plate umpire's left hand and maybe even left leg, as he's trying to shake the left leg out a little bit, and he's squeezing his left hand. Again, I don't have the names. This is possibility that this is Brian Sheets who's behind home plate, but there's also a chance it's not. He was our home plate umpire yesterday, and it's the first time that I had seen him. So he might not be from Middle Tennessee, could be from West Tennessee or East Tennessee, where some of these umpires have come in. I believe it's Jake Wolf out in the middle of the infield. There's a fastball outside. Josiah Binford wanting a call there, trying to sway the home plate umpire. But to no avail. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Bottom of the 8th. Been 1 hit and a walk, and then 2 strikeouts. High pop up down the third base line to left field. It's in foul territory. We'll see who makes the catch. And left fielder Michael Bell comes in, makes the catch, then tumbles over shortstop Nomar Pierto to retire Tucker Allen for out number 3. No runs, 1 hit, 2 runners left on base. We're through 8. Jackson State now has to come up with 7 to stay in this ball game. You're watching TCCAA action on the VolState Sports Network. Tim Reese and Reagan Smith back for what could be the last half inning of today's ball game. The play-in game number 2 between 7th-seeded Motlow State Bucks and the 10th-seeded Jackson State Green Jays. Ryder Morey back out on the mound trying to nail this one shut for Motlow State. He faces Kylan Joyner. Pops one up into shallow center field. Julius Scares back and then comes on hard and makes a sliding catch on his wallet to retire Joyner. Nice play by Scarce. Started back, the swing fooled him. The Joyner hit that ball off the end of his bat, or toward the end of his bat. Didn't go back as far as Scarce thought. Wyatt Hemingway up for the second time today. He struck out in the 7th. Ryder Morey on the whole way here as this game has started. There's another shallow pop up into right field, but John Hale will come in and make the catch for out number 2. Green Jays season down to their last out. We have a pinch hitter for Mike Romagno, be number 33. I'm sorry, looking at the wrong one. Jared Gurden. Jared Gurden, G-U-R-D-E-N, is the pinch hitter.
Jared Gurden
will hit for Mike Romagno. Slider misses inside. Gurden from the heart of Dyersburg State. He is a Dyer County High School product, New Bern, Tennessee. Drives one out to center field. That sends Scarce back, and he has just delivered a pinch hit solo home run. Big drive off of the bat of Jared Gurden. That is his first home run of the year, 2nd RBI. What a time to get it. Your last at bat of the season.
Now batting for the Green Jays, number 8, Garrett Bird.
Ball's traveling out of here apparently to right center field. And Garrett Bird steps to the plate. It is the 4th solo home run. All 4 runs that Jackson State had scored on solo home runs. One yesterday by Jacob Bryant in the 2nd inning. And in the 4th inning, Kylan Joyner, this young man right here, Garrett Bird, actually hit his 10th home run, which leads the squad. 10-4 lead by Motlow State as Ryder Morey yanks that one outside. Ryder Morey's looking like he's, even though he's given up 4 solo home runs and what will end up being 7 hits, the Green Jays can mount a rally here. He will be a right rug flooring player of the game, right along with Tate Van Hooser. Just gets a piece of that one, does Garrett Bird. Sends us to a full count. Ministries full count. Jared Gurdon, a 6'1", 220-pound freshman. Pinch hits for Mike Romagno and drives one out of here over the full count Ministry sign. And there is a full count first pitch foul ball. Green Jays down to their last strike. Every batter who's on deck is hoping to get one more plate appearance. Won't happen, doesn't look like. Pop up again to the right side. First baseman Van Hooser, our right rug flooring player of the game, comes in to make the catch for the final out. And this ball game belongs to the Motlow State Bucks as they defeat the Green Jays 10-4. And they will move into the 2-and-out tournament that begins tomorrow at 10 a.m., tentatively scheduled pending weather. Dyersburg State will face Columbia State in Game 1 as it stands right here at VolState Community College. That'll be followed by Walters State versus, I believe, Roane State. Then Southwest Tennessee will host Volunteer State. And the final game will be Chattanooga State versus these Motlow State Bucks. 4 games are scheduled for tomorrow. Winning pitcher will be Ryder Morey. Possibly the official score. There's a chance that Jake Gully could get that, even though he went 2 innings, as his day or his game had to end because of the weather. Typically, you're not going to come back and pitch on day 2 in a situation like that. Losing pitcher will be Cameron Gordon. Cameron Gordon will fall to 2-7 on the season. Ryder Morey moves to 4-1 if in fact he is credited with the win. No save. Motlow State moves to 26-20 on the season, and more importantly, they move to the 2-and-out tournament that begins tomorrow. We'll play Chattanooga State in the final game. Stay tuned on social media on the TCCAA website to stay up to all the goings-on with regard to the conference tournaments. Over on softball field, looks like VolState is putting it to Motlow State Lady Bucks 12-1 in the top of the 4th inning. Not sure. I think they have to go 5 innings, and that's an 8-run mercy rule over there. So you can tune in to Chuck Sebastian over on the VolState Sports Network if you want to catch some softball action. Very exciting game if you haven't watched college softball. Well, Motlow State wins this one 10-4. 10 runs, 13 hits, 1 error for the Bucks. 4 runs, 10 hits, 3 errors for the Jackson State Green Jays. Trying to see today's second portion of the game ended up taking 2 hours 7 minutes. So along with the 41 minutes of yesterday, that game took 2 hours and 48 minutes of elapsed time. So for Athletic Director Bobby Hudson here at VolState and Commissioner Forrest Chasen, this is Tim Reese along with Reagan Smith saying so long for now. Joining us tomorrow for the first game, which should happen at 10 o'clock, weather permitting. Thank you for joining us on the VolState Sports Network. Good night, everybody.